Hello Kenya, and allow me to address myself to just one headline in Kenya. And I'm going to touch only on one thing, and this is the perceived field or disagreement between Dr. William Ruto, the president, and his deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. I want to put it into context for you why there seems to be a disunity or a feud between Rigathi Gachagua and the President William Ruto. Rigathi Gachagua has for a very long time been not in a very good working relationship with President William Ruto. So it is now crystal clear that the president and the deputy president are not clearly reading on the same script, on the same page. So in one way or the other, there is some field, there is some drift and some difference that have permeated the working relationship between President William Ruto and his deputy, Rigathi Gachagua. It seems like Rigathi Gachagua is now as a man under siege. Something has been denied from him. What is the origin of all this? There are four reasons for this. So why did this have to happen? We know what happened between President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy Dr. William Ruto. The feud that began in 2018, running terrible in 2019, and then breaking off in 2020. This is something that is already repeating itself, and we are in the first term of Kenya Kwanza administration. So this was not expected to happen, especially the first term. But now it has happened. What happened? So what is the origin of all this? Now, one, remember, Rigathi Gachagua expected a 50-50% sharing of the government, a cost sharing of the government. Gachagua has been insisting that they were voted together on the same ballot. So to him, he should get a 50 share of the government, while he started the term by arguing that they have shares. How the sharing issue went about is another story. All the same, Rigathi Gachagua expected the kind of government formation that William Ruto had with Uhuru Kenyatta in 2013, where they shared 50-50, where Uhuru would go out and hand over power to William Ruto to run the country as the president in his absence. But this is not happening. Remember, even in traveling, it is only Dr. William Ruto who travels, and most of the times, if he has to send somebody, he sends Musalia Mudavadi, who is the prime cabinet secretary. So why not Rigathi Gachagua? So these things are the ones that are not happening, and therefore, Rigathi feels that he does not have the right share of the government as he intended to have. He expected that cost sharing of the government and running all the functions simultaneously and equally, just like Uhuru did with Ruto in the first term. This did not happen. The third reason is Raila. Of course, you have heard him complain through Kaiga Motai, the governor for Nyeri, that Rigathi was asked to put traps around the State House so that Raila does not get in. And what happened? Finally, Rigathi found Ruto enjoying moment with Raila. So how did it happen? Of course, Ruto, as the president, needed peace in order to govern this first term, and where possible, get the second term. So it was very wise and it was political ingenuity for Ruto to have gone for Raila, so that the political temperatures go down and allow him to manage the first term. Now that he went to this man, Gachagua feels betrayed. So the presence of Raila around the circle of William Ruto is one of the biggest problems and the causes of integration of the unity between Rigathi Gachagua and President William Ruto. Rigathi Gachagua does not want Raila around. The presence of Raila is an intimidation to his future in Kenya Kwanza. Remember, if Ruto and Raila come together and draft a pact going into the future, that means that Gachagua might not be needed come 2027. And in this manner, Gachagua has to put his authority on the government so that he becomes indispensable. But again, the coming of Raila has been detrimental to presence of Gachagua in the government. The other one is lack of a constituency. Remember, Gachagua from the word go did not come with a constituency. Closely related to this is how did Gachagua become the deputy president or the running mate? Remember that so many people proposed a running mate from Mount Kenya and very few ever mentioned Gachagua. Gachagua was not a choice of many people. Gachagua simply was a choice of nobody, except that in the context of the problems that Ruto was going through, he needed Gachagua. That is how Gachagua became a running mate and finally a deputy president. So he was not a choice of the people of Mount Kenya. He was not a choice of many people in Kenya Kwanza and UDA as a party. But because of his influence, not politically, but we know how he got here, not because of political influence, but because of another influence that was very important. Gachagua became the running mate and the deputy president, not by choice of many people, but by circumstances. Now that this is now the government, Gachagua was brought in because of his financial influence, not political influence. Gachagua does not own a constituency. Gachagua does not have a certain voting bloc that support him fully, not Mount Kenya. Mount Kenya, Gachagua is just a nobody. Ruto looked for his vote in Mount Kenya, and therefore Gachagua cannot say that he owns Mount Kenya. He does not have a certain voting bloc that is in Kenya Kwanza courtesy of him. Nobody. So as a result, some people feel that Gachagua is still not the man that we needed, that we politically need. Is the man that we financially need. Now that it is the government that is in power, and come 2027, the government is going to employ the government machinery to campaign. Therefore, his financial influence might not be very under come 2027. What we need most in 2027 is the political influence, not the financial influence, because it is the government that will be campaigning for President William Ruto. So let's come to the issue now of having a constituency. Gachagua now wants to go to the people, talk to them in a language that they will feel him, pity him, so that he get followers. Remember, Gachagua does not have followers. He's looking now for followers at the moment. And this is, of course, what William Ruto might not allow to happen at the moment. So to make Gachagua indispensable come 2027, he needs following. So that is why he has gone to the people to seek following, because he has no following. He only has the financial muscle that Ruto needed in 2022. Number 4 is 2027. Of course, closely related to what I've already discussed. 2027 is coming and everybody is preparing. Remember, Ruto has already intended that he might be going for a woman for running mate. That is just to prepare Gachagua psychologically that he might not be the obvious choice. Secondly, you have seen some people warming up for that position like Didi Nyoro, Kimani Chungwa. Some other people are warming up. That is not to forget that Ruto might go to the west with the support of Raila Odinga. Ruto might be going for Musalia Mudavadi. Ruto might be going to Luo Nyanza. In one way or the other, Gachagua is not guaranteed the position come 2027. So what does he want? He wants to solidify a support in Mount Kenya that will be dispensable. That Ruto will sit down and say, if I lose this support base, I'm going to lose the elections. So that's what Gachagua is simply trying to do. That he wants to have his own voting constituency for the sake of 2027. When we get to 2027, then he can plan for 2032. But for now, his position in 2027 is not a guarantee. It is under threat.